He will be there live. Trevor Houston, the mic is all yours.
Oh, Ramon, I really appreciate that. And man, I got to say that Brandon, man, your segment was fire. You were just dropping mics all over the place. I really appreciate all the words and all the encouragement and all the light that you got to share in this room today. But let me go ahead and reset the room. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go. Cash flow. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Trevor Houston, and this is Breakfast with Champions, the Millionaire Breakfast Club. And this is your opportunity to get a seat at the table with those going the places you know you can go and doing the things you know you can do. Now, we don't see this clubhouse divider with a stage on top and an audience down below. No, no, no. Instead, we look at this as the world's largest breakfast table, full of motivation, education, inspiration, and even a friendly competition with the positive intention of pushing your momentum in the right direction. Now listen, if you ever miss a segment, you can go download the podcast to subscribe. Head on over to bwcdaily.com, grab a link to subscribe to the podcast. So guys, I'm super excited. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. It's Monday, even though the Cowboys lost. Oh my gosh. Whew. I guess there's always next year. But listen, I'm excited because this is actually week 1 of a 7-week series that we're going to be going over some different elements, some things that you can do to help put you in a better position into this year, right? So in the last segment, I talked about a good friend of mine. His name is Mike Materian. He's actually one of my students, and he's in a career transition right now. Okay, so he's transitioning jobs, but I got to talk about a success story of his. He was actually just featured on Channel 11, CBS News, for the opportunities that are knocking on his door, right? He's got some opportunities just knocking on his door. The recruiters and the companies are finding him. And it's because of the work that he's done coming through our Career Transition Summit. He's getting discovered. He's being noticed, which is amazing. And so I thought, you know what, let's dive deeper. What I'm going to be doing over the next 7 weeks is I'm going to be covering some deeper dives into these segments. We're going to go over optimizing your LinkedIn profile, professional networking, understanding the LinkedIn algorithm, how to create content to bring those recruiters to your profile, engagement pods. We're going to talk about those and how they work. We're going to talk about some targeted outbound messaging strategy that works to get those recruiters' attention. And then last but not least, week 7, we're going to go over what I call the job search Trojan horse. Now, here's the thing. I know on Clubhouse, we got a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get a kick out of this information because it absolutely 100% is useful for you in your business as well. Okay. So if you are trying to, get the attention of any kind of decision maker, I want you to pay attention to this. So today, what we're going to go over is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be like a landing page. Okay. Think of it as a website. Okay. And on your website, it needs to be clear as to the problem you solve, who you solve it for, and what you're doing there, and then have a clear call to action. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen right now. I'm on also over on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We're live on all the other social channels. So matter of fact, if you're tuning in right now, let me know what city you're tuning in from. I'd love to give you a quick shout out here. But let me go ahead and share my screen. And this way, we can go over step-by-step LinkedIn optimization. Okay. So the very first step when you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, so I've got mine pulled up right here, is your banner. That's the very first thing that people see. Okay. Your banner is really, really important. And this is where your messaging needs to be on point. Okay. Your messaging needs to be on point. I need to know exactly what it is that you do, what problem you solve, who you solve it for. And I needs to have a call to action. Okay. So the very first thing that we do is we craft this statement. Okay. There's a statement called your XYZ statement. This is something that we'll use all over your profile. Okay. It's something that you can use when you're networking, right? If someone asks you, what do you do? Things like that. So it's a real important statement that we're going to need to craft. Okay. So let's dive into that right now. Okay. So here's the XYZ statement. The XYZ statement is I help X, X being your target market. Okay. Accomplish Y. Y is the problem that you solve. Okay. The problem that you solve using Z. And Z is the method that you use for solving that problem. Okay. So I help X accomplish Y using Z. Now, to show you an example of that, okay. So here would be an example. So I help companies enhance revenue by training their employees how to break down complex issues, save time, and increase productivity. Right. That would be an example. My personal example is I help senior level executives, executive job seekers overcome ageism and recover their cash flow without touching their resume. Okay. So this is a statement that you can use to put right there bold on your banner, right? You want to have that up there. And there's some other elements to your banner as well that you want to make sure you have, like a call to action. So what is it that you want that person who's looking at your profile, what is it that you want them to do next? The very next step, right? And so it could be like, send me a DM me to learn more, something like that. You could have your contact information. So let me go back to my profile so you can see what I got going on mine, right? So on mine, it says recover your cash flow without touching your resume, right? So the problem that I solve, right, is helping job seekers overcome ageism, recover their cash flow without touching their resume. The resume is the thing that they hate, right? They hate to do over and over and over, right? So I help them to get back to their cash flow without doing what they hate. So that is the Z part right here. You'll also notice up at the top, you've got authority. So here's like the news feature. So if you've ever been featured in the news or anything like that, you could put that up above. You want to make sure that you have a clear call to action. So I even have a QR code up at the very top that people can scan. You'll see this little bubble up here that says ask about my free career transition summit. So you'll see there's lots of different calls to action just embedded right there in the banner. It's clear the problem I solve. And if you land here and you identify with that problem, you're going to take that next step. Okay. So the other thing that we want to do, I recommend, is putting that statement in your headline. Okay. So we're going to put that in your headline. So again, you'll see mine right here. I help job seekers overcome ageism, get noticed, and recover your cash flow. And it says LinkedIn coach, speaker, executive producer of the Who You Know show. That's where you're going to want to start to put some of those keywords on the back end in your headline. So you'll put that right here. And then also the next thing that you're going to see, the very next thing that you'll see is I have what's called a cover story video in my profile. Okay. Pulls up. Hopefully you guys can hear it over there on Clubhouse. But I'm going to go ahead and play mine so you can see what I've put inside of there. I actually have that XYZ statement embedded in, a few calls to action to reel the people in. Let me go ahead and play that for you right now. Let's see. Here we go. View profile video.
Hey, thanks for checking out my profile. Because you were nice enough to check out my profile, I want to help you with your profile and send you my LinkedIn Optim.
All right, so you'll see that 30-second video comes to life, and I have a call to action, which is come to my Career Transition Summit, and I tell them that the information is in the featured section. Okay, so that's something that you want to do as well, is put calls to action all over your profile. Anywhere that someone is looking on your profile, you want to make sure that there's a clear call to action. What do you want them to do next? So in my cover story video, I talk about that there. In my headline, you'll see that I have a call to action right here. There's also a right up top, you'll have this LinkedIn URL that you can add. So you can, now they have finally added that. Thank goodness. It's kind of like the link in the bio, right? So you can put any link there, and you can actually customize the text. So I put free LinkedIn cheat sheet, right? Which takes you to a bunch of my resources. It takes you to my link tree, right? So again, clear calls to action, anywhere you can add that. I also want to point out a couple of hacks up here as well. There's a couple more right up in the very top of your profile. A couple other hacks are, this one right here is actually kind of, let's put it this way. This one is a little bit controversial, but this is your gender pronouns. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can actually use your gender pronouns to get attention and to have a call to action. So if you don't really care about, your gender pronouns, if you don't care about that, which I don't really care about that. So I put instead of, he, him, I put follow and ring notification bell. Okay, it's real estate, so I use it. All right, and so it actually appears everywhere my name is. So every comment, it appears right next to it. Every DM, it appears right next to it. Like literally anywhere my name is on LinkedIn, you will see that statement, follow and ring my notification bell. Okay, so it's a little bit of a hack, right? Again, controversial. So like, I don't really care about that. And so I use it. I use the real estate. So you do you, whatever you want to do. The other thing is I have right here is this name pronunciation. Okay, name pronunciation. You'll see this little icon, and you have to add this from mobile. But when you do this, you get 10 seconds. Okay, you get 10 seconds. So think about that. My name's Trevor Houston, but that only takes like 1 second to do. So what else could you add in there? Could you add in what you do, the problem you solve? Could you add a call to action? You've got 10 seconds to grab someone's attention, right? So think of this as like a voicemail. If someone were to call your phone, what would your voicemail sound like? Okay, so I'll play mine real quick. Here we go. All right, so again, you'll see clear call to action. I tell what the problem is that I solve. All of that is right up here. And so you'll see that just at the very top of the profile, guys, at the very top, we've got so many areas to get your message across and then have a call to action, right? Like I could point out in my profile, there's probably 10 right here, just at the very, very top. So I want you to be thinking about this as you're putting your profile together. Think about it. If someone is looking at whatever section you're putting together, doesn't matter what section it is, if someone is looking at that section, if their eyeballs are on it, does it show, does it say the problem you solve, and does it have a call to action? Okay, so make sure you're doing that. So let's scroll down here a little bit on the profile. The other thing that you want to do is turn on creator mode. Okay, creator mode, LinkedIn is spending a lot of money right now on creators. Okay, they're trying to bring creators onto the platform. And so they have a problem with inactive profiles where people are, they're getting a profile to get a job and then they disappear. So they're trying to bring creators. They're trying to bring people that are actually going to stay on this platform. And so they're spending a lot of money, and they built this thing called creator mode. And creator mode actually gives you a bunch of unique tools like LinkedIn Live, which we're on right now. So a whole bunch of different tools. And you want to turn that on, and it actually makes your profile more visible. It's more searchable. So go ahead and turn that on. You'll get some additional tools and resources. One of those we already went over, which is like your cover story video. Okay, so you need to turn that on so you can get access to that. As we scroll down the profile, you'll also see right here, we've got the featured section. Okay, So the featured section is another amazing area for you to showcase your authority, to showcase, what you do, the problem you solve. Maybe you put testimonials in here. Maybe you put news features. Like I've got this one right here where we were featured on CBS 11. Maybe it's a program that you're trying to get somebody to enter into. Like I have our Career Transition Summit right here. Whatever it is that you're trying to make sure that people see, right? We want to feature it in the featured section. So go ahead and do that. And what I always recommend for people to do is mention it up above. So at the top of your profile, mention it. Like in my cover story video, I mentioned our summit and I said it's in the featured section below. And you'll also see that statement in my headline where I say in the featured section below. So you want to draw people down to this section. So when they land there, they'll go down to the featured section and they'll take action. Okay. So that's the next section there. And as we scroll down, let's go over the about section or your summary. Okay. Your about section needs to really, again, sell the problem, right? And that's this first 3 lines needs to be eye-catching and really grab someone's attention. It needs to be kind of like a hook, like a catchy hook, and it needs to identify to the problem that the problem that you're solving. And then as we go down, you're going to go into some what you actually do to solve that problem. Right. So as I talk about it, I say, we help you to get seen by your target market, use my network of recruiters to increase visibility, turn your profile into a lead magnet, expedite the interview process, close the deal, navigate the financial impact of career transition. So these are all of like the things that I do to solve the problem. So you're going to bullet those out. And then at the very end, again, you'll have a call to action to make sure that they enter into whatever program that you're wanting them to go to, whatever that next step, whatever you think that they need to do next, you'll have that at the bottom. Okay. Then of course you want to make sure you fill out completely your work experience. You can actually add in images. You can add in, videos, all kinds of authority and different things into your work experience, which I would recommend to do. It kind of brings it to life just a little bit and makes it pop. Of course, your education. Now, here's something too. This is another little hack that I've used on my profile. This is your in your education section. So like to give you an example, I didn't go to college. Well, I went to community college, right? For like a semester. Okay. I went to community college for a semester. So I don't like really have a degree or anything like that I want to showcase. Okay. So what happens is your education section actually goes up to the very top of your profile. You'll notice it's right up here, literally. You'll see it. So I actually added the words follow and ring bell to get notified of new content. Okay. Because that literally goes to the very, very top of my profile. Okay. So, again, that's just a hack. Like if you didn't go to college and it's not something that you really care to showcase or anything like that, I would use that real estate, right? Put it there, put some kind of statement, because that statement will appear at the very, very, very top of your profile. Okay. This is all about using the real estate that's given to you, right? The other thing that you can do is you can add in this section, you can actually add in different elements. Okay. You can add in media. So I added our newsletter, right? So you can actually go in here and click on the newsletter and subscribe to the newsletter. So I added that in there. Make sure that you're constantly updating any licenses, certifications, volunteering, right? Like I've got here, Breakfast with Champions, right? That's a volunteering for me. I'm in here in this room right now. I'm not getting paid to do this, right? It's volunteer. So add that to your profile, right? You know what I'm saying? Add any volunteer experience that you have, any skills that are relevant to your job and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. Make sure you add those skills. And then what's real important is a lot of people ask me, like, how do I get skills and recommendations. Like, how do I get endorsements, recommendations? Like, if you look here, I've got 154 recommendations where people have gone in. And the important thing to note about that is the more you give, the more you get. Okay. The more you give, the more you get. So I have 154, but let's see how many I've given. Let's see. Does it show? Yeah. Okay. Here it goes. It shows 697 I have given. Okay. So if you want recommendations, here's the formula. It's pretty simple. Go give one. Go give a recommendation to somebody that you know, like, and trust, somebody that maybe you worked with in the past, and then directly after you've given one, ask, right? You've earned the right to ask. So go give a positive review to somebody and then say, hey, would you mind giving me one? I'd really appreciate it. And you'd be shocked. They're just going to do it. Like, it's the law of reciprocity. So make sure, if you want recommendations, which I highly recommend that you add those to your profile, that you get some. Okay. Also go in here and you're going to add in any publications, news, any of that stuff. So just fill out your profile as best as you can, because all of this stuff is important to showcase. Like publications will show authority, right? It shows that you know what you're talking about. So like here's that latest feature from CBS 11 News. It's right here. So I added that. Okay. Anytime I get added or in the news, I'll add it here. So I've got 20 publications I've been featured in. Awards and accolades. You want to add that. Again, that's authority. That's showing that you know what you're talking about. Okay. So when somebody comes onto your profile, they're going to land here. They're going to go to the top. They're going to see, okay, wow, this person, I identify with the problem. Okay. They know what they're talking about because here's the authority. And, oh, here's what I need to do next. Okay. Here's what I need to do next. I want you to think of this as like a website. It's the exact same thing on a website. Okay. So I hope that these tips have been helpful, right? I wanted to make sure to go through this as kind of like a real crash course into the summary section. There's a whole lot more to it. And so what I've done is I've actually put together this thing called a LinkedIn cheat sheet. Okay. It's a free LinkedIn cheat sheet. If you click on the link above, or if you're online, it's in the description, you'll see it says free LinkedIn cheat sheet. You can click on that. And basically what this is it's an ebook. And this ebook has a few webinars that are built into it. So when you open it up, you'll see that there's a checklist in here and there's some webinars in here. There's actually 3 included webinars. They're about 30 minutes a piece. Okay. I didn't have enough time here today to really go into this, but this ebook will really dive deep. Okay. So there's 3 webinars included in here. And as you go through that, you'll watch the webinar and then you'll take action. Okay. You'll take action in the checklist. There's even when you get to page, I think it's 4, you'll see that there is a formula for your summary section on how to write that. So you guys can get this. This is a free gift to you for tuning in today. So you can get that. I also recommend, if you're in career transition, if you're seeking employment, trying to level up your cash flow, check out the free Career Transition Summit. It's an online webinar. Make sure you go into that. And that's where we really show you some other strategies. Okay. So what we're talking about today is literally just step 1. It's optimizing your profile to turn it into a landing page. But some of the other stuff that we're going to talk about is, rehumanizing your career search, putting the human element in. We want to rebrand your presence, regenerate your network, recover your cash flow so that you can reclaim your life. So we're going to talk about all that stuff inside the webinar. So make sure you check that out. And some other things, we've got some really cool stuff coming up. Me and Ramon are co-hosting a conference together here in Dallas. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I want to invite you to the conference, Champions Business Conference. Okay. This is going to be April 13th and 14th. Okay, April 13th and 14th. You can find the information on this conference in the link above as well. Oh, go.
BWCdaily.com/Dallas23. BWCdaily.com/Dallas23. Continue, brother.
Yeah, there you go. BWCdaily.com/Dallas23. Link is up above and in the description as well. So you guys can check that out. Make sure you get that info. And we'd love to meet you in person. You know, there's nothing like this online stuff is cool. This Clubhouse stuff is cool. LinkedIn's cool. All that's cool. But you know what's even cooler? Hugging on some necks. I'm just saying, just seeing people in person and loving on folks in person. There's nothing better than that. So make sure you come connect with us. We'd love to meet you and pour into your cup. All right. And then another thing that we got going on, I know I'm just going over like some different events and things, but I think they're important and they're right around the corner. So another one that we've got going on is Frisco Connect. So again, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and if you're in a career transition in a couple of weeks, February 7th is this meeting called Frisco Connect. And this is for those folks that are going through a career transition. Again, it's going to be motivation, education, collaboration, and we're going to get you in front of the right people at this meeting, employers, recruiters, staffing companies, all of that. So make sure you come take a look at that. We would love to have you at that event if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But okay, let me go ahead and stop the share in here. Oh, let me stop the share. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want to give some shout outs. I see Facebook user. Will you be making this live video shareable? Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to get that out there. You can share it. Hit that share button, by the way. Hit that share button. And let's get this thing out there. All right, let's get it out. Okay. So let's see if we can take maybe some questions. I know I've gone over a lot. And if you weren't watching online, right, I know there's some people over here in Clubhouse. If you weren't watching online, maybe I can answer some questions for you here live about LinkedIn optimization. If you need to up your LinkedIn game, holler at me.
Hey, Trevor, it's Sally.
Hey, Sally, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good.
Good. I love your tip on using the real estate that you can to fill in stuff. The whole pronoun thing, that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a little controversial. I mean, I might get canceled for that one. I don't know, but hey, I'm willing
to canceling you, but yeah,
I'm willing to listen. I need that real estate, so yes.
Yeah, we all need it. But I wanted to ask you. That's funny. I wanted to ask. So I haven't really ever used LinkedIn. I did put a profile up when I was running a big company in Silicon Valley, but I haven't really used it. I focus more on Instagram because I'm a content creator. I'm monetizing over there. But do you think I should like jump over to LinkedIn? Like who looks on LinkedIn? I know a lot of people do, but like for me, who's a filmmaker, who's content creator. I'm a certified life coach as well. Like, should I get back on there?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay.
Tell me why it's important.
Okay.
I guess I need to know why it's important.
Okay. Because all of the companies and the CEOs and like everybody's there. Okay. LinkedIn has got money. Okay. The average user on LinkedIn, they got money over there. Okay. And you've got a lot of decision makers over there. A lot of these, again, executives, business owners, CEOs, the C-suite are all over there. Okay. And so it is important. I think it's very, very important. And so there's a lot of money on LinkedIn. You just got to find a way to get to it and find a way to target these folks. And that's the other thing, the targeting on LinkedIn. Like there's no other platform out there that gives you the search that LinkedIn does. Right. So if you're trying to target specific groups of people, like there is not another platform out there that gives you that type of capability using like Sales Navigator and some of the search features. So yeah, Sally, I would recommend that you get over there, find your target market. Who is it that you're targeting, by the way?
So right now, currently, my target is brand sponsors because I have my season 2 of my talk show. I have a talk show on Amazon Live and YouTube called Welcome to My Clubhouse, and we are meeting. I'm meeting with my team even today to talk about how to target brand sponsors because we're
Mm.
looking to jump. I just want 2 to 3 sponsors. I don't want too many because I just don't want to spend my time having to talk about, doing commercials and different things. But I actually have a big meeting on Thursday for a sponsor that I think is going to come on, a brand sponsor that I'm already kind of representing. But yeah, right now I'm targeting brand sponsors.
What kind of sponsor, though? What would be ideal for you? What kind of sponsor?
So, I put a whole sponsorship deck together and it's like for this much money, this is what you get. And I'm going to produce a commercial for each of them. And then that commercial will play on my show for each episode. And we usually, like season 1, we had 27 episodes. And it's good because I've been in the entertainment industry for 30 years. So I have a lot of friends that I'm not just going to, throw a commercial up on my show. I'm also going to start marketing within all of my stuff to my celebrity friends, my influencer friends and things like that. So yeah, I mean it's a big deal. This is like season 1 was a build, we didn't really make money. We probably lost money on season 1. But now that we have content, we have 27 shows on YouTube and it's doing really well. Now we're just, we're building for season 2, which is going to start in February.
I love it. I love it. Well, you can get on LinkedIn and find those folks. Okay. You can find them. I promise you, the search
That's what I'm
features over there.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then it's about, see, finding them is one thing. Okay. And identifying where these people are. That's the easy part, actually. Okay. With LinkedIn. I mean, it's so easy to identify those folks. Now, what we need to do from there is get their attention. And so how do we do that? How do we get that conversation? How do we get them to actually, engage with you? And so that's big part of what I teach also in our summit is, and I'm excited about that because over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about that, right? I'm going to be going into like, okay, so the first step is, optimizing that profile. But then we also need to know how to do the professional networking. How do we engage these people, targeted outbound messaging so that you're literally like you're commanding their attention, commanding it where they just can't help but engage with you. You do it in such an impactful way where that they're just like, wow, I have to talk to Sally. Like I have to. And so I'm going to show you guys this over the next few weeks. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited about that. Sally, thank you so much for chiming in here. My time is up.
Yeah. I'm going to be paying attention every Monday now.
Yes, good. Love that. Love that. You're very welcome. All right, guys. Well, that's the show. It's all about who you know. Let's go. Thanks for listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show. It's all about who you know. Well, thank you. Appreciate you guys so much. And I don't know who's up